Well,
Yo,
we made it.
we did. Oh my God.
For a little bit of context here, Will was a little
Okay.
a little late.
Should I explain myself? Can I defend myself? All right.
Yeah.
So
Go
I
ahead.
wake up at noon, like always, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I have 2 hours. I have to go to 7-Eleven and pick up some energy drinks so I could be excited. And so I leave the house and my mom's like, hey, let me pick up your brother from school. We all can go as a treat. The weather's nice. I'm like, cool. And then I get home at 1:55 p.m. Turn on my computer. My computer's old, slow as whatever. And I check my Gmail for the Survivor Now link. I never got one. So it was not my fault, kind of. I should have gotten home earlier. But we started on time.
We did. You're here nonetheless. Welcome everyone to Survivor Stock Watch, episode 7. I can't believe we're already on episode 7. That's kind of crazy.
Wait, what? Episode 7? I think you mean episode several. I made the joke.
That was so funny.
I know.
I am Jack. With me is Will. Will, before we ask how you're doing, as usual, I have a little something for you that
you have a little something.
That I do, and I think you might like this, and I think everyone will. So here we go. That's a clip of you. Happy early birthday, Will.
What? My heart is full.
There you go.
Yes.
Will, how are you doing? Your birthday's on Sunday, is it not?
Tomorrow, actually.
It's tomorrow.
It is. So for the context, basically, I'm one of those people. I celebrate my birthday, not week, but month. So this whole month of April is just all about Will West.
Yes.
No.
Chris made the video for you, by the way.
But Liz owns the rights to the video. Let's not forget.
Liz does own the rights to the video.
But I DM'd messaged Jack last night. I said, hey, I have a little blurb prepared. So basically, I've been doing this podcast since I was 16, right? Pretty young. And now I'm almost 19 years old. And I'm still doing the Survivor Now podcast. I've been a part of this train for a while. I think I was one of the first guests on, and now I'm a regular. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has, seen the show, liked the show, messaged about the show, talked good or bad about it. Also, all the guests for popping on. We had Troy Zan last time. I met so many cool people from this podcast. And so I just want to say thank you for being a part of this little part of my life. That's all.
That was very heartfelt, Will. I really
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been here longer than me. I had some memories from the times we've had together. Our very first podcast on the right, one of our first Big Brother ones in the middle, and our one with Troy's in where you were drinking Monster.
I drink energy drinks all the time, bro.
Absolutely. And, I want to say thank you. The Stock Watch wouldn't be the same without Will West. Certainly not.
Or Jack Powell. Let's be real.
I appreciate
that sitcom relationship.
This is how it is. And, we've been going for a while now. We're actually, we're about a year because we started episode 8 last season, or 44. So,
yeah, that was a great decision. Start halfway through the season.
We did good. Though. We did good.
Yep.
And now we're back. There's only one way. Well, let's do a formal introduction again. Stock Watch episode 7. Woo! There's only one way to play the alphabet game. That was funny. I liked that challenge. I just think it was nice seeing some banter and calm waters help with that. I mean, in 42, it was just absolutely dreadful to do that challenge, and so now we got a little bit of fun. It was good.
Honestly, it might be my favorite challenge of the new era. Maybe.
Whoa!
I think it's less the challenge of what happened, but I normally just use the challenges as my time to zone out. I write a lot of notes for the podcasts, just so I can go back and do my rankings. But this was like the first time I actually like laughed in a challenge. Just Q trying so hard to play the game, Charlie being a troll. B is for Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore.
A is for Atlanta.
And
C is for what they say? What did they say for C? Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. But Tim was also on fire as well as in the challenge. He kept saying, "What's up, Jeff?" And Jeff not understanding what he was asking for.
I had no idea what was going on. But yeah, I mean, I agree. It was definitely one of the more fun new era challenges. Chris with a relation to a Kagiyan challenge with the good luck move. Yeah, I mean Bermuda Triangles is always a good challenge. It's fun, it's exciting. You're the classic Andrea and Brenda on one leg, and that rule was was implemented this time. That's what you like to see. So let's get into it fully. We have the rule book, still the same, but we will always flash it to remind you. And so, happy early birthday, Will. We go to Tim. And we start with Tim, the last pre-juror of the season, who we never saw doing that well. And we basically ruled him out nearly immediately. He had some fun moments this season, though. Towards the end, he really started to pick up a little bit. And I just appreciate the Tim that we got. Because, Tim seems very fun. He seems like a very energetic player. His downfall. It was clear as day. Staying too Sega strong when that was not the wave of the game, was not the play, and it ended up costing him.
I don't see. Tim is weird. I think he was a little caught up with being Sega strong, but I think he had a good grasp on the game, better than I think we gave him credit for early on, because he just had nothing to go off of. And I get the reason for wanting Hunter and for wanting Anami gone. It's just he went about it in the wrong way. I think he should have. I think if he cut Ben, as unfortunate as much as I like Ben, I think cutting Ben was the play to be with the 6 because he went against the grain too early. One thing I will say about Tim, though, I like the way he wore his buff. It was very unique. It was like that little knot in the front. Something I've never seen before.
That is kind of... Yeah, we've seen some interesting buff compositions this season with that and with Kenzie's scrunchie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not really the buff thing, but more, we're getting creative. Survivor Fashion is going to be a new model, new line coming out very soon. So,
but I think he played his role in the season. I think because he went out in such a... Not boring, but like it wasn't really a crazy move voting out Tim here. We kind of was caught without numbers, and the tribe configuration did not really help him out here. And so I think that's kind of why he got no confessionals. But at the same time, it's like, why did Mariah get a confessional every episode, but Tim got shafted the entire time?
Yeah, that's true, especially since Tim makes it for them and Mariah. It's fair to say whatever happens in that regard, or, Tim maybe isn't as great of a confessionalist as Mariah, per se, but a little more of Tim would have been appreciated.
I know,
but that's the lay of the game. And I think you're right. I think going into that tribe dynamic this episode, it was him or Ben, and Kenzie had already made a good outreach to Ben earlier in the episode, a couple like the day of or a day earlier. And sometimes you just get caught in your own head trying to play the way you feel like is the best way to play. And in another world it is, or could be, but in this world it's not. And it was not the things Q and Kenzie and Tiffany and Hunter wanted to hear. And so that's how Tim got the
Got the boot, got the axe.
got the
R.I.P.
boot.
Tim.
Couple comments here. It's funny how everyone predicted he would be like Sifu. I think he got the Sifu edit over the Sifu game. Yeah, the edit, sure. The game, Sifu was just cut. He was always done. Tim had agency. Tim actually was part of the +1 Alliance, and he helped get rid of Gem. Those are two pretty decent things to your game. Making outreaches. Pretty good.
It's weird to say. I think Tim kind of reminds me of like Brando from last season, where it's like we got a little bit of game. We understood that Tim was actively playing. We just did not see enough at all. He was a little more shafted than Brando was, but then it's like he just got picked off pretty easily, and that's all there is to Tim.
That's the lay of the land sometimes. Now, I did see something about Tim postseason that is interesting in the sense that he really made it clear he was Sega strong very, very early on. Like that was his thing. He was sticking with the Sega grouping. And so we got shown Tim considering the +1 and considering Sega. I'm wondering why they showed us that rather than him sticking Sega strong and that being a clear-cut downfall reason.
I think just to give suspense, because it could have been Ben this episode as well. And so if Ben would have went, the reason was Tim still had the +1 Alliance and could jump there. I think the reason why it was edited was just more for TV, not for an edgic, not for a narrative, but just to give suspense. That's just how Survivor is.
That is suspense. Same with Soda. Soda had some suspense on her way out the door this episode. We never saw Soda going quite far either, especially after I put her at 5. Don't.
Yeah. What was that about, pal?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Well, listen, she had a good first episode. Okay, I thought she was going to do well, and it was clear, readily apparent after the first episode, basically just the first episode, that she wasn't going to be the longest player for this game, and it's unfortunate, but making jury in and of itself is good. And I think it's going to be really important for Soda to see what happens in terms of who takes credit for her elimination, because she was blindsided. She really felt like she was completely on the not on the outs, but she got screwed over. She thought she got blindsided out of nowhere. Who does she give credit for that move? And does she reward them with a vote at the end is the question of Soda now.
Yeah. So I just want to say we finally caught our first dub. For a while we said Soda was low in the rankings, which is a safe bet. But
we got 2 dubs. We got Tim and Soda.
We got Tim and Soda. I mean, Tim was a little more obvious than Soda because Tim got legitimately nothing the entire season, so it was pretty easy to write him off. Soda was we had to dig a little more. But after putting Mariah really high the entire season and like Gem at number 1, I'm glad we
needed a little feel good. We needed a little feel good experience here.
Yeah,
we're using Jay. Randomizer, do your research, man.
Or don't and just pick the
Jay, watch this show. You're better than that. You goober.
Listen to podcasts, bro. Listen to us, bro.
Listen to Survivor Stock Watch. We'll lay it down for you. And we may say Gem's number 1 episode, but that's cool.
Or Kelly number 1 for an entire season.
Or Kelly number 1 for a lot of it. Or Mariah really high, and then she gets. But sometimes we screw up.
Okay, I don't blame us for Mariah, to be fair. No, but I think Soda's problem. It's crazy. I actually think there's a lot of parallels between Soda and Venus. In terms of they're playing the game, but they're not aware of what's happening around them. They both played really, really hard, really early on. I think Venus more strategically. I think Soda more socially. And I think that was Soda's downfall because she lost trust in Tevin. And Tevin was kind of like the big buoy of Nami, where if you're good with Tevin, you're solid.
Absolutely.
And she got a little too confident, and however,
Will, look at that!
woo! Dude.
Oh
Shout out
man.
to Hannah Rose, queen
Stopwatch
of
mistakes
nicotine.
coming together.
Queen of the vape, bro. No. But you know, I wasn't the biggest Soda fan, but now that she's gone, I'm gonna miss her. I think she was like a diet Banu in a way, where she was very over the top, very, very reactionary. And love her or hate her, we all had something to say about Soda, which was a little more than Tim.
Yeah, I think the one thing I want to tack on to that as kind of a last thing, and literally the last thing she did as she was walking out the proverbial door of tribal council, is she had a really graceful exit. You know, really upset, not bitter, not really antagonizing the other players, very graceful, very just excited and happy to be on the jury. And, you know, I think that's the type of exit you really want to look for in a Survivor player. It's that mix of, you know, upset, shocked at your exit, but also graceful and thankful for the opportunity and, you know, not screaming at people. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Soda for second chances too? I don't know. Maybe. That's the thing. Will second chances to ever happen? Maybe we never get returning Survivor players again.
No, we're going to get returning Survivor players. It's going to be me, you, and Troy's in an alliance, bro. Wait for it, bro. It's going to happen, bro.
Oh, man. Troy's in. Oh, man. I can't wait to work.
We made the alliance, dude.
We did. We pre-gamed in Survivor Stockwatch episode 4.
Yep. Go watch it. Great episode.
We're ahead of it. Ben. Ben had a really relatable moment this episode when he says he's the life of the party. Everybody wants to talk with him at the party, but no one wants to get deep with him. I kind of get that. I mean, a lot of people get that, surely, but I personally get that. You know, I sometimes feel that people don't want to have the deep talks with me, and I think it's really, really, really cool to see that on TV, because I don't want to put it to this example, but not a lot of people can really relate to maybe Katura's story from 45.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a lot of people can relate to that.
Not a lot of people grew up in a cult, you know.
No, yeah. But a lot of people can relate to Ben's story, I'm sure. You know, there's always that kind of circumstance. Do you relate to Ben's story? I'm sure you do at some point.
I mean, am I the life of the party? Kind of. Yeah, no, I think this is a little off topic. I do see a world where Ben is the winner of 46. The reason why, it's not because he's playing a great game. I think he can be like a Fabio-esque winner. I think his likability,
like a character winner.
A character winner. Absolutely. Okay. I have him at number 6 right now. But the fact that he's getting a lot of these relatable moments, because it's cutting a little deep, it's getting a little personal. We got that really cool scene with Kenzie and Ben, 2 players who I wouldn't really imagine would be close if you look at the board. But the fact that they got close, you know, I think that's something to note. I think that's going to have a lasting impact, either on the jury or what. And we kind of saw the impact this episode. But I think there's a bigger payoff down the line. I don't know, but I think I've been at number 6, and I wrote him off as being a strategic force. I don't think he's going to make it far. However, this could be the right cast, the right set of circumstances where his weak game won't matter. Because
you think it's going to work. You think this is the mix. That is a winning mix for Ben instead of maybe another season, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I think if you put Ben even on another tribe, if you put Ben on Nami, Ben would flounder. If you put him on Yanu, but I think with the Siga tribe, with Ben's story, it is like a very big personal edit. So it could be one of those things where he, you know, gets voted out, you know, unceremoniously. And his story is more just personal, touching upon how grateful he is to be here.
Yeah. Maybe he goes far. Maybe, hold on, what is this? Tended to the fire this episode. Jay, is that, what is that, Will? Is that a...
Oh, do the thing! Ah! Elizabeth Powell, is Jack your favorite podcaster, not Will West? What's going on?
Well, get played hard.
This is messed up, bro. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, I still see longevity in Ben. Don't get me wrong. I mean, out of the people that I've eliminated, because remember we did eliminate Ben last episode from contention.
Yeah, Jack did. I'm still a little weary.
Will's weary. Will Weary West here, but that's gonna all right. That's the all right. You gotta our promise for Survivor Stock Watch next episode. Instead of number one crackpot theorist, has to be Will Weary West.
Will Weary, I can do it right now.
Do it right now, and that'll be the promise for next episode as well. But yeah, I mean, I still see longevity out of Ben. I mean, he's definitely higher in terms of the people that I've eliminated from winning contention. It could be very much a gets eliminated at 5th positive edit, much akin to the end of Lauren's edit from 44. It could be similar in vein to that. Could be he's a losing finalist.
Maybe. I could see him being like the 3rd placer where he's just kind of like Troyzan in Game Changers at the very end where he's like, I'm happy to be here. Y'all made my dream. I'm out. I could see Ben having a similar trajectory where he's like, I wanted to hang out. I got my $1 million already. I'm good. I don't know, because I feel like there's not a single player left where I feel confident in them having a straightforward edit without it being a little too on the nose and a little too obvious.
Yeah.
For that reason, and I would go back to earlier episodes where I keep thinking that all the big power players are going to get voted out, and we're going to have a weird final 3 where the fans will be a little upset. And I feel like Ben would be the winner because I think he is getting. It would make sense why he's not getting the strategic focus, because his win wouldn't be strategic. It'd be very social. It'd be very character, just like Fabio in 21. One of my favorite.
So you think Charlie in that sense would be maybe not necessarily a Holly Hoffman from 21 from Nicaragua type character, maybe more like I don't even know. Like Nicaragua is weird.
Yeah, no.
Good. So you think someone like Charlie would be someone that would be eliminated, and then after the dust is settled, there's more personal, not as strategic characters left, or maybe they've picked up those edits from the strategic players and they've become the strategic players. But then
kind of like 43. But
okay, you rank Charlie at 1 though.
I do, because here's the thing: as much as I want to entertain the idea of Ben being a winner, being a character winner, the odds of that happening, like legitimately, the odds of that happening are very slim. I like to entertain it because I don't want to be in the same camp of, oh, Charlie's number 1. Who cares? Ben's out. I want to at least entertain the idea that Ben could be the winner. But at the same time, let's go back to reality here. I think of anyone, Charlie, I think he's a little similar to Carson in 44. However, I do think he has the most longevity. I do think he has the best path so far. I think he's playing one of the cleanest games without it being undermined. It is a little too clean, a little too perfect. However, at the same time, I don't think we're getting too much of Charlie every episode where it'll matter. If we got spoon-fed Charlie the same way we got spoon-fed Carson, I'd feel a certain way.
Yeah.
But
we're not, I see what you mean. We're not getting over-delivered with Charlie's edit, basically.
What we are getting is very cookie cutter, which I am worried about. But at the same time, too, my number 1 is such a weary spot where it's so shaky, where he just kind of fell there because he was doing good.
Weary West.
Will Weary West.
He's weary. I think Mona agrees with you, Will. He's successfully socializing with others, and we see that, but it's for strategic reasons. And so maybe there's a difference this season. Maybe somebody who I have number 1,
who I have number 2, to be fair.
Yeah, this is the debate we had last season. And who ended up being right at this point in the game?
Who had Soda at number 5? Who
Let's
had
talk about
Bam number 1?
let's talk about last season. Okay. Who had the right contender when it came to the final 10, and who had the person who got eliminated at the final 10?
Okay, so here's the thing. I had D number 2 the entire season. I had D number 1 at like multiple spots that season. All right?
Mhm.
Let me be a contrarian in peace, Jack Powell. Don't make that face with me.
I don't know.
Just
I don't know.
Just because you hired Elizabeth Powell, who is unrelated to you, and you got her to say good things about you.
I don't know. Jay's comments making a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie could very easily. I mean, I think he's going to go far regardless, and I'm sure you think the same. That he's going to go pretty far and do decently well, getting like, yeah, I might as well get the sunglasses out again.
Oh, God, not this.
I'm on a standby. They're right next to my computer. But yeah, I mean, we see Charlie going far. Is it a win necessarily? It could be. But I think a point that we're starting to maybe figure out a little bit, Charlie is very strategic and socializing strategically, whereas maybe someone like Kenzie is socializing in a more personal manner. You know what I mean? With Ben, this episode, I don't know. Charlie's still good. We're fine on Charlie. The winning potential is there. And in earlier seasons, pre-40s, it would be number 1 for me for sure. I have him high, and I think he will ride high till the end. But I'm weary, as Will Weary West would say.
The thing is, too, it's like everyone else, I just see a lot of flaws with, and Charlie's flaw is that I don't see a flaw right now. And
and that's the worst part.
That is the worst part. I think of any season we've done coverage for, this is the weirdest. See you, Chris. Have a good one. Enjoy Australia. I think this is the hardest season or the weirdest season for me to rank. That's why I go back to the Ben theory, where I think Ben could be the winner because of less of a strategic reason. It's because I just see too many flaws in everyone's game.
Absolutely.
Charlie included.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the flaw of is it too good, and that was what we debated with D. In a way, we debated it with Jam Jam, but Jam Jam had flawed episodes for sure.
That was what
Charlie
we did with
just doesn't.
Carson, where it felt too perfect to where I never had him high. Unlike you, number 1.
I had him high pretty early on, but then when we started talking about it, I was like, yeah, you're starting to make sense here. The same cannot be said for Hunter, though, who, for me, as much as we want to say, yeah, he's still getting focused, he's still getting edited, more and more, I'm starting to teeter on the edge of non-contention because it just desperately feels like he's going to get eliminated at like final 8.
Yeah, that's the problem is I don't know how it'll play out. I do think I'm starting to think now that I think about it, it could make sense that he goes home with an idol in his pocket. He's a big super fan. He has the idol. And he can get blindsided very easily.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, for that to happen, I feel like Tevin would have to be a part of the plan. Tevin would definitely hear about it. And will Tevin want to cut Hunter? I don't know. I also don't like to give, focus on the next time on Survivor, but Hunter being in a tree is a little worrisome.
It is, yeah.
Starting to play hard. I just don't know the path so far because he does not get a lot of focus. He got like the personal content kind of where he, is a super fan. He built puzzles, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's a little too perfect. It's a little too low key, but maybe that's the flaw because he's playing such a great game where instead of giving negativity, they just strip away. Kind of like how Dee was never really in the limelight for a while because she played such a clean game in 45.
They just stripped away focus on her at certain times.
Until down the line. But could that be the same case here? I'm not sure. But I did drop him down to 3. I would have him at 4, but the person I have at 4, there was just one moment in the episode that was just way too negative for me to rank higher. We'll get to that in a second.
I'm excited.
And I think with Hunter, it's just I don't want to have him below anyone else, but I do agree that I'm very weary on it, as Will the Weary West would say.
As Will Weary West would say, I am weary on him. Yeah, I agree. I'm worried about the cookie cutter. I'm worried just by how clean it is, and I'm worried that he is just going to start getting targeted because he was already targeted the first episode. He wasn't immune at a tribal council. If you recall the merge episode, Mergatory, where Hunter literally was immune, and this was the first tribal he's been to where he doesn't have immunity. He has the idol, but that isn't going to do anything because no one knows he has the idol, which is good. You know, we want people to not tell anybody they have the idol. Thank God Hunter's at least doing that. But it's a little troubling. We're starting to worry. And for me, what would do it for me next episode to rule him out of contention is another episode like this one, where it's basically nothing. It is cookie cutter. We need something good to keep him up. Otherwise, for me, it has to be really strong in the direction of not getting anything good. If it is that case, he's out for me. I'm making moves. Half of the people for me are out. Like, that's more than most of the seasons we've done.
All 1.5 seasons we've done. Yeah, no, that's why I keep going back to Ben being the winner, because on paper Hunter has a lot of things good, because I don't see the end for Hunter. It's kind of like Gem, where it's like Hunter seems like such a good and sound player, where I don't think that he downfall is good, and because like he's not going to overplay, I don't know when he'd get voted out. But that doesn't mean he's the winner, right? But I feel like if he touches Final Tribal Council, I think he sweeps. So like, at what point? And I feel like, you know, he's not losing fire. Let's be real here, guys.
No, he's not losing fire.
He's not losing fire. So it's like, when will Hunter get voted out? How will he get voted out? And so that's the big question mark for Hunter for me, because I just don't know. And that uncertainty is very scary.
It is. Jay with a little bit of a suspicion here about Hunter playing his idol successfully. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the will they, won't they play it correctly dilemma. It's the same with Tiffany, who we'll get to, who still has her idol. Will she play it right? Will she play it wrong? Will she play it at all? We'll see how it goes. And we go to my number one. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say, you are, and I get it. However, Kenzie, there's a confessional from Banu, of all people, with the mermaid dragon confessional.
You still think she's the dragon?
I think so. However, I see the two paths. I think her winning is likely. I think this was a fantastic episode for Kenzie. I think being there for Ben, who to me is a more of a character than player, that does wonders. I think she has always been kind of the main character, the voice of Yanu. I think being the main character in the tribe of crazies with Tiffany, I think she has more control. I think she's the more dominant factor in the Kenzie Tiffany duo, right? However, it's not that it's too clean or too perfect. It's just I can't shake the mermaid dragon confessional, because that was such a big confessional for Banu, of all people. Yeah. And I feel like, again, when you're on a tribe of 3, when you make it far, you're getting that story. You're getting that narrative of Kenzie, you know, dominated all throughout Yanu. Now she's a strategic force. And now, you know, she's going to, you know, sweep whatever, right? Like Banu throwing her under the bus, I think will have an impact, but just not now, because the merge is crazy and everyone wants their shields. I see her going at 4.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair to assess that Kenzie is the dragon and is going at 4th. At the same time, I think for me, there's a little bit more credibility on the side. Like, we're going to take a look at her Edgic strip when the show is nearing its end today.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like Jam Jam's. Like, it looks strikingly similar to Jam Jam's Edgic strip. Quick J comment here. 3 seasons in a row now with a highly edited, good, proper winner. The meta is shifted now to the good strategic. Maybe it's more in the line of we're getting the flaws, and the flaws are apparent. We know them, and those flaws could be strengths. Maybe the mermaid dragon thing is a bad thing. Maybe she is the dragon. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing, and maybe that's her new moniker, the new archetype, as one would say, for a Survivor winner. And I think the negativity we do get disappears. Remember in the early episode, I want to say episode 5, the one where Yanu finally won immunity. Kenzie was shown walking up to everybody, be like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's up? What are you guys talking about?" I think that's just silly, and I think it's trying to present flaws and doubt. And so, along with Mona's comment here, lots of next time on Survivor and preview focus, they do that for winners. We saw that with D.
Oh, yeah. And I have her too, just because I still think that her potential is high. I just think she could be the dragon. However, I can absolutely 120% chance buy into her being the winner, because it makes the most sense of a lot of other people. It's just, to me, it's also a little on the nose. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think we both agree that Kenzie's going far. It's the question of, is it the dragon or is it making fire, or is it the dragon and making fire, or making it to end and winning the game, or maybe she makes fire in both circumstances, and then it's to determine if she wins or loses.
Oh yeah. Hi, Liz.
You see? Do you like that little screen cat down there with Garrett Adelstein from Survivor Cagayan? I'm not bringing my idol to tribal council. I'm not bringing my bags. I have Liz at 6, and a lot of people are going to scream at me going, why? Why do you have Liz above Ben, above people that we'll get to? Why do you have Liz up? I think she's a go, and I think it's very clear that she will make it as far as possible, because no one is taking her seriously strategically. She is no threat. She is a complete rumored billionaire. But, yeah, crackpot theory that she's a rumored billionaire, you would say?
Love crackpot theory.
We do. This is what we do. We should name it Survivor Crackpot, not Survivor Stockwatch.
See,
anywho,
I can buy into her being a GOAT now. However, I have 2 people above Liz, just because as much as I can believe that, I can also believe that she could just be an easy consensus boot, right? Where like the dust settles and they're like, we want Anami gone, and there'll be a lot of craziness, a lot of big talk, a lot of bluffs, and then all of a sudden Liz just gets shafted and then voted out. Boom, done, easy. Because she's tied really to Tevin of all people, and I could see, Tevin did lose Soda, which was a number. But at the same time, Tevin and Hunter are still a big group, and so people will be afraid of Tevin, Hunter, Liz as the trio.
Absolutely.
And I feel like what's going to happen is Venus could be like, "Hey, can we just vote out Hunter or Tevin?" And they'll be like, "No, not really. Let's just vote out Liz and be good." Who knows? Though?
Certainly, it could be very similar to Chrissy and Ryan with JP from Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. In that scenario, you're taking out the lower player in that trio to weaken the real duo. I don't know. I mean, Liz getting underedited, clearly, getting shafted in the confessional count certainly doesn't help her case, and doesn't help ours either. It doesn't make it easier for us. I could see like, it's purple edit, sure, but it's also more. I think a little Lauren from 44 maybe. I think.
I don't know,
Yeah.
because we haven't really had a losing confessional or losing finalist with no agency. I feel like what's popular now with the new era is that the third placer is always the player who wants to play the game. They just could not maneuver. I think of Jake. I think of even Romeo, or maybe even Xander. I think they all
honestly, you could think every single losing finalist like that.
Except for like Carolyn, which is such a weird example just because of how the Tika 3 were, right? Where I think Jam just got all the credit for the Tika's gameplay, which is shafted Carolyn, RIP.
Yeah.
We haven't had like a true blue GOAT like what Liz could be, and for that reason, I'm not totally buying into it because it's a different game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, we are firmly in the new era. Liz could very easily be somebody that gets taken out before the end of the game, before the final three, because every finalist has something now. Romeo didn't have a lot, but he certainly had something. Xander had something.
Xander was like the main character of 41.
Yeah, Xander had stuff. Deshaun had stuff. Mike had plenty of stuff. Jake had plenty of stuff. Owen, Cassidy, Carolyn, Heidi. Every single losing finalist has a clear story and a clear reason why they lost. And if Liz's story of why she lost is I own multiple businesses, that would be pretty funny.
It would be like Sherry from Caramon. I'm a business owner, and I treated you all like businesses. And Philip was my goat. And Liz is kind of like the Nami's Tim, just a little too shafted. Tim had more agency, but Liz and Tim have the same edit. So
yeah, Liz is just hanging around at this point. She's becoming the new Tim at this rate, and she'll just kind of ride wherever she needs to ride to get to the end. I'm sure of that.
I also on the Liz Wilcox Survivor wiki page, she was asked what Survivor would you play the most like. She said Russell Hantz and Sandra. So let's just be careful of that. Maybe she's doing the anyone but me strat.
Anyone but me while burning people's socks. I love it. We should take a break.
Yep. Ads. Who do we have on deck with the ads?
Let's see. Pick a number 1 through 4.
2.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to Expedition Online Season 6.
Hi everyone.
Hey Queen's Army.
We've got King George and Queen Sandra.
I'm starstruck right now.
Everybody looks ready. In 3, 2, 1, go.
These questions are hard.
Ooh, Kara gets the first one. Go.
I feel bad throwing out names, so I will gladly go if anyone has any ideas.
Sandra is voting for Amy.
She is.
How about Eli? What if we just blindside his ass?
For you and I, keeping our names out of conversation and then having these quick check-ins.
I feel so stressed. My arms are so sweaty.
Got another twist coming in today.
Holy shit.
Now you gotta switch into game mode. Use your emotions, use who you are.
Take every opportunity.
I promise you, I do not have the compass. Where I don't have it.
Okay, you have a minute. We got about someone.
The fact that my name was even in your mouth.
You say something in my web of people, it's coming back to me.
Don't ever be too comfortable in the game.
Glory or death.
To the end.
But most importantly, play to win. And take out King George's faithful soldiers, boo.
Shout out to Expedition Online.
Yeah. That ad is, a little old, but you said 2, and so that's what we were doing. Speaking of 2, Maria, who was immunity winner number 2 this episode.
Yeehaw! I did that on purpose, by the way. That's why I picked number 2.
I'm so good at my job. We both have her at 5. Losing hope. It's the same deal with Hunter, more so in a basically, she's had 7 episodes, and 5 of those episodes are middle of the road. There are 2 episodes that are different from that. When you have that, I don't really see a lot of longevity, or not necessarily longevity. I don't see a lot of winning potential out of that unless you're Gabler and you have a really crazy start and you go to the end, rocking Moors all the way to the end. Maria doesn't have that. And for me, a good episode needs to happen next episode, or she could be out for me, potentially.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, it's like, even if she got a crazy episode, I don't think that's necessarily what we need. I think instead of getting like a breakout episode for Maria, I think it needs to be a slow, gradual build where she gets a good episode, an even better episode, a better episode after that. I think if she got like a crazy breakout episode, I'd be a little more weary. That's what I always say. I don't know why I keep saying it, but
it will be West here.
Exactly. But my problem with Maria is, like, again, it's just nothing. It's the same. I just feel like she's just getting the stereotypical new era mom edit of Julie before her, Heidi before her, of, always like finds a strong duo. This time it's with Charlie. Last time it was with D. Time before that it was with, whoever, Danny. Who cares?
I think, I don't know. I think if this season were 60 minutes, I don't think, and Maria wasn't winning, I don't think we'd see any of this. I think Maria would be purple. Maybe 1 or 2 episodes in the spotlight this episode, Gem's elimination, but I don't know. I agree with you. I think a gradual build would be really nice to see, but I need more than the cookie cutter basic Maria copy paste. I need that next episode. I need a little more, a little bit.
Yeah. And Jay, I do think she makes the finale. I think she's playing, the one word I can use to describe Maria is just solid, right? Not good, not bad. It's just all right. And I feel like there is a path where she could be the winner, but then I feel like we just get a little bit more. And I know it's hard to edit a Siga win because Siga never lost anything. They were just very kumbaya, which is why I still think Ben could be the winner. Because I say, like, again,
you are on the Ben train. Why don't you have him at number 1?
Because I don't. It's the winning potential. I don't think it's very likely. I don't think it'll happen. But at the same time, the reason why I still haven't ruled him out is because I go through everyone individually, and it's like there's so much uncertainty, right? And when nothing makes sense, I go with the craziest pick, but that's still a little plausible, like Ben. But I'm losing faith. I do hope we get like more personal content. I think personal content would be a big plus for Maria because that's something we haven't really seen much of. And
we got a little bit earlier in the season, but but
like, but a little more.
I would like to see her be. I think what will really maybe start to push her up at least a little bit for me is having more of an input in the decision than Charlie, because they've been together the whole game, and Charlie has been the one edited as the one kind of running things or the one doing most of the work. If we saw Maria in that light next episode, I could certainly move Maria up because it makes a little more sense than someone as clean as Charlie.
Yeah. But at the same time, too, at the end of the day, Maria is most likely just going to fall in the same pitfall as being the under the radar, not bland, but just the copy paste, what we've seen before. We
have seen before. Hoping it's not the case. Maria, again, we've always said Maria seems like a very logical player, a very good strategist, very clear head for the game. Hopefully that sticks. Hopefully we get to see that more. We're leaning on not, but we're hoping for more. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Wow.
Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you?
No, I'm quite positive. Q went from contention, teetering, he was borderline out of contention, but he was still hanging in there, to, oh my God, if he is not out next, it's a problem. I don't think his episode is as bad as a lot of people say. A lot of people are saying this is one of the crazy martyr approach coach episodes from Tokyo-chin. From Tokyo-chin's. I don't think it's that, but
yeah,
I want it desperately. And we got a true coach-esque episode from Q, trying to run the show, flip-flopping between names, playing the alphabet game and immunity, and screaming at people when they did it the wrong way, praising Kenzie and we got coach. This is the coach edit, and I kind of loved it. I think it made it so much better.
Q is a gold mine of unintentional comedy. I think everything about Q is working against him this season. I think putting him on the Yanu tribe, putting him with Kenzie and Tiffany, this whole season was built to go against Q, and just watching Q react to it, him trying to talk game with Siga and them just singing songs and whatever. I think honestly, Q could be like Bruce in a way, where he's just this big target where he's trying to be the leader. Everyone's getting rubbed off. But at the same time, I agree that he is going to go out next. If he doesn't, do you think he could be a shield for players?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think Q can be a shield. I don't think there's any doubt that he could be. In my opinion, all the stuff we heard about Q early in the season, him wanting to quit in episode 3 and in episode 5, him making rash decisions, all of it we kind of let go. We were like, Q will be fine. This is just a bump in the road. This episode made it very clear that it all had a purpose in showing us that. And I think this was the key. Once we got this, everything clicked, at least for me. It made sense that Q was this character. And I have to disagree with this one, unfortunately, Jay, because Drew never had a true downfall. It was more just kind of...
He just got sniped.
Yeah, he just got sniped. He was the first casualty of the Reba 4. Whereas Q, I think people are getting fed up with him. I'm thinking...
That was a good pun, Jay. I appreciate that.
This is good, Jay. We like this. Maybe like Sammy from 43, kind of coming out of nowhere at the final 7, final 8, really wanting to do stuff. Trying to think of a better, or another example. Will Wall. That is a great example. That's perfect. Will Wall from NBGX. That is the example for this one. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be funny as hell to see this coming elimination, because it will come. I don't think Q will make it to the end of the game at this rate. And I'm just elated.
Yeah. I mean, early on when he wanted to quit and we saw that, that could have been the negativity for a character that's going far. Not so much the winner, but I also feel like it's not unheard of for the losing finalists to also get negativity early on, because that also explains their loss, right?
Absolutely.
Jake's whole edit was just negative, right? I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Or like Mike rubbing people the wrong way. And while that was, more so in the merge, I still think Q could have had something, but this was a pretty bad episode. I agree. It's not the martyr approach. It's not the craziest episode. I still think Banu had an even worse episode this season.
Banu had a true martyr approach episode, whereas this is a martyr approach light episode.
Yeah, it's like Will Wall,
It is just
Ken.
like Will Wall. Or Ken McNichol.
I don't know why I'm thinking of MVGX.
Does he vote for Yanu if Yanu is in the final 3? Maybe. Kenzie's there. I think Tiffany more so
Tiffany
if Tiffany's
definitely.
there, then Tiffany definitely. Kenzie, it depends. It depends on how Kenzie potentially handles his elimination. But speaking, that's not Tiffany, but
Hi, Tevin.
we understand Q. We know where it's going. Tevin, for me, is also falling out of it because I think it's going to come back to bite him that he was the one really trying to pull this whole scheme here of getting rid of Soda, making this elaborate plan, and then deciding to vote for Venus to try and cover his tracks.
Yep.
I think it's all going to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, I think the Nami overall, they're suffering from tribal success, right? Where they spent so long not going to any tribal that they get itchy and they want to play the game and they want to play it hard. That is something I think everyone has either experienced or will experience on Nami, except for Liz, who is just not playing at all. And we saw it with Venus and Soda, and we're seeing it with Tevin, where he's going to want to play the game. It's big movitis, right? We've seen it all too many times where he wants to vote out his closest ally, thinking Soda was this big, great game player. However, it's like she's only been to 2 tribal councils and was a target for both of them. I don't really get the argument, and that could have been Soda's big argument had she known about her, vote out. And that's no diss to Soda, but I think he's going to be shown as the lightning rod of Nami and will be targeted. And we talk about Hunter potentially being a shield.
You think more so over Hunter?
What's that?
You think more so over Hunter? You think
Yes.
Tevin would be more the lightning? Okay.
I think Hunter on paper, but then it's like when there's a guy calling all the shots, that is scarier than someone winning challenges. Hunter is more low-key strategically than Tevin. It's just Hunter is good at challenges. However, it's like you're going to vote out the guy calling the shots. Because at the end of the day, Hunter's just winning challenges. So far. And finding items.
Nami is Bello 2.0. Yeah, maybe. There's a little hints of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's weird. I thought Sega was going to be the Bello. I thought they were going to get decimated. I thought Nami was going to run a tighter ship. But, also, Jay, the +1 alliance is kind of dead. I think it's dead. It died with Tim.
You think it's dead? You think it's done for?
I think there might be sub-alliances, but the idea of the +1 alliance is no longer around. I think it also will die with Q. I think Q is the only one who's really thinking about it and really putting faith in it. Everyone else are just kind of using it as a way to survive. But Tim went against it. I think the writing's on the wall. It did its purpose. But yeah. No, I think Tevin also earlier on just had too much inconsistency with the edit, where he goes from being the main character in the beginning to then getting no confessionals, to then being the leader of Nami, to then getting nothing. It's way too weird for it to be a standard winner.
Yeah, especially in the new era. It's too wacky. There's inconsistency, and there's also being called. Again, considering both sides of the coin here, Venus is not getting a great edit, obviously, but keeps calling Tevin King of the Hill. It may stick, and maybe Venus in Tevin's arc is Tevin gets eliminated by Venus, and then Venus goes right after. It could very well be that. Do we see longevity? Sure, but I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, there could be longevity, but most likely not. That's why I don't have him dead last. I have him above, like Q. Who else do I have him above? I have him above Liz.
Yeah.
Just because the odds of Tevin making it farther than Liz, I think, are a lot better. Because I could see Liz going next. I could see Tevin sticking around, maybe putting up a fight.
Very easily. Who knows? Oh man. Damn it. Damn it. I picked Tiffany to be my winner pick at the beginning of the season. I'm so confident that she's got a shot. I'm so confident that she has a shot at this. But, you know, there's pros and cons. The pros, she's getting content where maybe she wouldn't need it. She's getting time to strategize, getting time to put out her thoughts to the camera when maybe she doesn't need it. The cons, there's not a lot there, or not a lot really needed there, because her confessionals, realistically, could go to other people.
Here's the thing. Episode 1, Tiffany wants Jess gone. Jelinski goes. And she votes correctly. She's a part of the alliance. This episode, she wants Ben gone. That does not happen. That, to me, is a big red flag. And the reason why I have Hunter number 3 and not Tiffany, because that's the second time I've noticed that she's gotten directly undermined in the edit, where she says she wants one thing to happen, and it doesn't. And it's getting spun, you know, positively because she's a part of the alliance. She's making plans. However, that is something I think we should note. And she's gotten, like, episode 2 was a great episode for Tiffany because she, you know, opened up. She had the backstory, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's also a quote where she can take out, she can chip away at Nami on her own. I think that's something to note because if that does happen, right, like if Nami goes next, then maybe we can forgive her being undermined. However, if like Asiga goes or like Q goes next episode, something we should, you know, think about. And
Sure.
so I do think she could potentially win. I'm not writing her out yet. I think she has a better edit than Maria, but I'm not as confident as I was, say, you know, episode 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's there, but it's iffy. And Moda and Jay have some good comments.
Yeah.
Tiff doesn't have the individual story. Yeah, beyond that challenge, I think in the second episode where she, you know, she had a really nice moment in her confessional. And yeah, again, if she doesn't have that, it would certainly be nothing. But even then, it's not a lot. And again, with the new era, you get a decent amount of stuff. I think Tiffany is really leaning towards something like a, I want to say like a high kind of edit from 42, maybe a little bit of Liana from 41, somewhere where she gets eliminated mid merge to early late merge. You know what I mean? Pre late merge, and she's just a good player on the season, and she could come back for a second chance. And she does still have Idolicia. That is key. And I think it will come into play because, again, why remind us? You know, we got reminded very clearly when we didn't need to that she has the idol.
That's the problem. This season's so weird. Can we please just cover like a more by the book season? Can we just do like season 40 instead?
But our job is not supposed to be easy.
Hey, we have the hardest job in the world. We're so we have it hard, bro.
We are
who are firefighters? Who are firefighters? Who are bridge construction workers in Baltimore?
Who are they?
Who
is Venus?
Who is Venus?
But who is Venus? Venus is honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, with that whole Tevin, the whole Tevin talk we had, I think it would be interesting to really see Venus take out Tevin and then get eliminated right soon after. I think that would be the fitting end or conclusion. Maybe she's the last Nami standing, potentially.
Maybe.
But I regardless, we still have never really seen a lot out of her. We've kept her in the same kind of boat, but she continues to stay despite having no true social capital. She's playing a very aggressive social game. She is going up to people, saying what she thinks, not really being apologetic, smiling when people are eliminated. You know, that's the type of Abby Maria kind of action we like to see. But at the same time, win equity, near zero.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I feel like she reminds me of like Owen and Jake, just a little more negative, where she has the right reads, right? She has the right ideas. She just cannot do anything about it, right? And I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt early in the season where it's like she's just on the wrong tribe. She's just doing the wrong stuff. But like Abby Maria, I think it's less what tribe she's on. It's just she isn't able to form any of the bonds. She doesn't know how to talk to the right people. And like she just has one setting, and that's Venus. And so it's like when you talk to Maria, you got to talk to her differently than how you would talk to like Soda or how you would talk to Tevin. And because she's not doing that, she's not able to formulate any bonds or make any plans. And as much as I want to buy into her being a losing finalist, I think that is slightly possible. She just has to survive the next few votes to where she would be a non-issue or a non-threat. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's tough. She doesn't have a lot of tact. As I think Maria said in the episode, she doesn't have a lot of tact when coming into conversations, and that has hurt her in the game, not just this episode, but in the game. And she mistakenly thinks she deserves credits for this move. I think what could happen is Venus believes she has the credit for it. Tevin does have the credit for it, but Tevin fights Venus on the credit for it. And maybe people don't believe Venus, but people believe Tevin so much that he's the new target.
Yeah, or what could have happened too. There's a lot of back and forth and debate with Venus this episode when Soda asked her, like, was this you? You know, Venus could either believe she did the move or just said, I voted for you, and took the question like that, still in shock. You know, I think the next episode will be interesting because she's either like, I didn't think that she would actually go, or I just made the biggest move of Survivor 46. If it's that, then I don't really see her being a losing finalist. I just think she's just going to lose, but who knows?
I agree. Yeah, I think losing is more than losing finalist at this point. But
yeah,
there's still a possibility. Here we go. Tier list. Rattle it off. Kenzie is the only positive episode of the bunch at a double plus, a great episode for her. We have Charlie, Hunter, Tiffany, and Maria. It stays there. Those are the remaining contenders. Not good, not bad. Keep them there. Everybody else is a slash.
I disagree with Ben, but that's okay.
Yeah, you disagreed with Ben last episode, and he's still there because it's permanent.
It's permanent for you, Jack, Mr. I'm going to do the stock. It's okay. No,
I follow the Survivor Stock Watch rulebook. Let it be known.
I never ruled him out. I ruled him out of him being a good player, but I'm not, you know.
Whatever you say. And the Edgic. Highest visibility, just a lot of people with 4. I didn't feel like a 5 was necessary. There wasn't really anyone that truly stuck out like that. Lowest, Hunter, Liz, Tim with 2. Tim with a 2 in his boot episode. I mean, that's pretty, you know, unfortunate, but that's the Tim we've been accustomed to. Best rating, Kenzie with a CPP. Again, best episode of the bunch. Kenzie's on a roll. Again, it looks like, look at the strip. It looks like Jam Jam. Do you see it?
If she follows the same trajectory next episode, you should grab Jam Jam's Edgic strip as a side-by-side for the people at home, for the folks at home. That'll
be my promise.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, it's like, again, I could see the Kenzie argument. I totally can. It's just a part of me, I don't know if I want to believe it or if I do believe it. I just think we're due for a BS season again, kind of like 43, kind of like, I don't know. What's another BS winter season? Like 21, 41? Obviously. 41?
Maybe. In terms of edit. In terms of raw edit is what I'm saying.
In terms of raw edit, but like, I feel like with Erica, when she got to like the final 6, when she got to the finale, it's like Ricard's winning. If not, then like Deshawn.
Edge of Extinction?
Yes. That was the last truly, I just saw that season 2. That's the last true blue, like, what is happening season.
Besides Hunter and Maria teetering on non-contention. Again, Maria has middle of the road column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7. And Hunter is not much better. And it's just at this rate, it's too clean. It's too Mona.
Woo!
I swear we will lose our jobs. Our jobs will be gone. And Q with shades of South Pacific coach. I was actually watching a coach highlight wheel from South Pacific, and it looks very similar to this. Very, very similar.
I mean, this is kind of reminding me of South Pacific. We have Bonyu yelling at God. You know, religion hasn't been brought up in Survivor since, you know, so South Pacific. I don't know why I'm saying Edge of Extinction. And before that, like Survivor China. So who knows that we could be due for another Edge of Extinction. Or why am I saying that? South Pacific, but who's the Sophia Clark this season?
Maybe it's Maria. Looks pretty similar, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Time will tell.
Happy early birthday,
Happy
Will.
early birthday again, Will.
Hi, Will.
Will.
Jack.
This has been the Stocks.
This has been the Stocks.
Calm down.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to say?
Thank you everyone and once again for watching the podcast. Thank you.
Wait, sorry, hold
on. What?
This has been the Stocks.
Calm down.
Do you have anything else to say?
Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Happy early birthday, Will. Please go celebrate it. Go get absolutely drunk off your bonkers. Just because that's what you do.
Bro.
On your birthday?
Yeah, we're celebrating. We're going to eat tonight. So who knows?
Ridiculous. Thank you all for watching Survivor Stock Watch episode 7. There's only one way to play the alphabet game. I'm Jack. That is Will. We will see you next week for what is sure to be another episode of Liz's winning story.